It's Friday, the 3rd of August 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. In Jin Shin Jyutsu, safety energy lock number 3 came into the universe meaning the door. So safety energy lock number 3, I said this for the 30th, for Monday, is located, if you put the heel of your hand on your shoulder, on your trap, where your fingers are, if you edge them towards your spine, where your fingers rest on the inside of your shoulder blade, just on the inside of that tip, the top corner of the shoulder blade, that's where safety energy lock number 3 is. And that is the door that allows things in and out. So those are swinging doors, like those saloon doors. They swing this way and they swing that way. They have hinges that allow them to swing freely. When safety energy lock number 3 is open, then that happens. And that means that we can take in what we need and we can expel what we no longer need. And that is not just, that's in terms of food, that's in terms of air, that's in terms of water. It's also in terms of perceptions, emotions, spiritual nourishment, energy. It all flows through that door. And you can feel, like in most people, mine is, actually not too bad. It's not too bad today, right? But very often that is a very tight area. And the reason why it's a very tight area is because we often hang on to stuff that we're not supposed to be hanging on to us. Or we take in stuff that doesn't serve us because, we can't say no. So when we connect to the energy of the 3, then we enable ourselves to be more in touch and in tune with what is real and what is right for us. And so we allow the nourishment in and we allow the wastes that don't serve us out. 3 is the strategist. 3 is the general. 3 is the one who knows how to win the war. Okay, 3 is the one that makes the strategy in order to win the war, and then puts 3 is the one, who sees the goal. The goal is we need to win the war, right? 3 is the one that is the creative thinker that can put the strategy in place in order to get to where we're going. So 3 can be a number of extreme expansion. It can be where we broaden our horizons, where we open the door to new experiences, where we open ourselves, where we expand into new experiences. We go beyond our boundaries. By the same token, 3 can also become extremely contractive. And it becomes contractive in a way that is like, my way is the only way. And why are you not doing it my way? And I need everyone to be doing it my way. 3 is a number that can be deeply connected to the spiritual. So whatever your spiritual belief is, and this can be religion, and this can be spirituality, it doesn't matter, okay? But basically, there's usually a strong spiritual component in this, and contractive 3s are the ones that think everyone should have their belief system. And expansive 3s are the more universalists who think that, everyone gets to have their own belief system, and that all roads eventually lead to God. So you can either adopt the expansiveness or the contractiveness. Now, in actual fact, you need both. Because if you expand too far, you end up being so spaced out that you can freak out, right? And that's what happens when you take something like a hallucinogenic drug. So if you take LSD, I'm not saying it's bad, LSD, I'm not saying it's bad or good, I'm just saying, if you take it, what it does is it removes the boundaries and it allows you to expand into different new realities. But you know what, if you overdo it on acid, then you can freak out and then you don't come back again, all right? So you have to have a balance between the expansiveness until where it no longer feels safe for you, and the contractiveness of keeping the boundaries so that you keep your boundary integrity. Luckily today we have the euro as a 4. I'm just jumping to the euro because the 4 in the euro position is about boundaries. It's about either breaking boundaries that don't serve us any longer or keeping boundaries intact or putting boundaries in place when we have been too expansive. So 3 is a good time for creativity. Today is a good day for creativity. It's a good day for goal-directedness. It's a good day to get things done practically because we have the 8 of 2018 of August, and 8 is the practical solution provider. So 3 is the strategist and 8 is the implementer. So today would be a really good day for you to actually start working on whatever it is that you said you were going to, whether it is a new way of eating, whether it's a new way of thinking, whether it's a new way of thinking about health, whether it's a new way of thinking about food. You can hear that's all my value system, whether it's a new way of doing business, whether it is a new business and how you're going to get it off the ground, new ideas. This is a really good day for that. We also have the 2 from 2018, so that brings the balance and the emotional element into it. So that means we can connect to our emotions to get feedback on what is actually going on in terms of our perceptions and whether what we're doing is serving us or not serving us, and it gives us a balance. It keeps us essentially in wisdom. It keeps us in wisdom relative to our new idea or our new plan. So an example of that would be, let's say you decide you're going to do this new, you're going to follow this new eating plan. And instead of it being a food plan, you're going to, you're going to eat, you're going to start listening to your body signals and eat only when you're physically hungry. But now you need to eat only when you're physically hungry, and then so this plan has a whole lot of other rules, right? So this is like your ideal body plan. Those are the 4 guidelines. So there are 5 guidelines. The first is eat only when you're physically hungry and learn how to distinguish physical hunger from heart hunger. The second is eat what you really want, okay? Eat what your body is craving for. The third one is eat only until you have had enough. In fact, stop before you're full. And the fourth one is eat really slowly. And the fifth one is eat without distractions. Now, that sounds wonderful, but it's not easy to do. So 3 will go, okay, I'm doing all 5 guidelines. 8 is like, hello, that's not really going to work that well. How are we practically going to do all of this? Okay, so how do we practically do this? Are there exercises that help me to know whether I'm physically hungry or not? And 2 says, hold on a second, guys. There are 5 guidelines. You've never done this before. Why don't we just start with 1? Why don't we start with 1? Why don't we just start with identifying stomach and distinguishing between stomach and heart hunger for 1, right? So 2 is the one that brings the balance. 8's the one that actually says, yeah, I'm sure we can do them all. 3 goes, yeah, because, we need to lose 20 kilograms in 4 weeks. Completely unrealistic. And 2 goes, hold on a second, you guys. You're being unrealistic about this. And 4, which is the hero, says, guys, let's work within the boundaries of what we're capable of. Let's stay true to who we really are. Do I actually even want to do this? Why do I want to do this? Does this resonate with me? How can I make this part of, is this authentic for what I want? Is this actually a value of mine? Is this actually a goal that I want to pursue? So that's how they'll play out in that example. So 2 helps to keep the balance. I think I got a bit carried away, right? Okay, so 4, the hero. So if things are going tits up and you're trying to do too much and you don't have enough boundaries and it's not practical and nobody wants to do it your way and you can't understand why everyone isn't on board with you, then you need to connect to the energy of the 4. And the 4 is about integrity and truth. What is the truth here? Are you trying to get your own agenda met? Are you trying to push your values onto someone else? Are your boundaries too weak? Are you saying no when you mean yes? Are you not being true to yourself? 4 helps us to connect to all of that so that we can stay in integrity and authenticity with ourselves, particularly when it's in that position. The villain today is the 7. 7 in the villain position says, I don't think I can show my authentic self out there because what if I get embarrassed? What if I look stupid? What if they reject me? I don't trust that people are going to accept that my authentic self is good enough. So 7 doesn't inherently think they're not good enough. 7 is just frightened of putting it out there in case they lose face, get embarrassed, or have their trust betrayed. So 7 in the villain position is going to want you to introspect. It's going to want you to keep your light hidden. It's going to want you to rather possibly do what pleases others so that you don't end up looking stupid. It's not necessarily going to be prepared to stand up for itself today. So that's what you have to bear in mind. Fortunately, as always, we have Jinshin Jitsu on our side, so we can hold the middle finger because the middle finger is where safety energy lock number 3 is represented. Safety energy lock number 12 is also represented on the middle finger, which is also 3. It's a higher octave 3. And 12 is about aligning our angelic and our animal natures and getting them to work in balance. So when you hold your middle finger, you are also doing that. You are harmonizing your liver and gallbladder organ function energies. You are connecting with believing in yourself and in your decisions and trusting that you know what is best for you. And you're also harmonizing the attitude of anger and frustration and resentment and guilt and disappointment, right? We only actually get angry and frustrated because we get disappointed. So when you hold your middle finger, you harmonize those attitudes, you harmonize those organs, you help yourself to detoxify. So the liver decides what is nourishing and what is a toxin. Just like that door allows nourishment in and waste out. So the nourishing food, the nourishing elements of the food that get to the liver goes off to the rest of the body to nourish the body, and the toxins get detoxified and they end up in the intestine or in the bladder, and they end up being eliminated. So the liver helps us to stay in integrity with what serves us and what doesn't serve us. And that's probably one of the reasons why safety interlock number 3 is located on the middle finger. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you again next week.